Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I want to start by recognizing all the Montgomery County residents who stood up for democracy at locations across the Washington metropolitan area on Saturday, uplifting our voices and continuously standing together to support one another is key to maintaining our fundamental freedoms, not only in our community, but across the nation. We all know that what happens in Washington, D.C. directly impacts our residents. Today, we are going to go over a few different ways that Montgomery County is supporting federal workers amid the shutdown, as well as resources that are available for all county residents who want to help navigate their career paths. I am pleased to be joined by Anthony Featherstone, who is the Executive Director of WorkSource Montgomery. He is with us today to provide his expertise and insight about efforts being done on the ground to help residents. I'm going to turn it over to him in a few moments, but first, a couple of updates from the council. Unfortunately, again this week, we are saddened by a pedestrian crash that occurred in Silver Spring on Sunday evening that left a 13-year-old with life-threatening injuries. This happened at the intersection of Georgia Ave and Evans Drive. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and the hopes that the teenager recovers, and we are thinking about her family and their community at this difficult time. As Halloween and daylight savings time approaches, we ask that everyone take extra time out to look out for pedestrians and bike riders, especially our young people. We need everyone, all our drivers, to slow down, stay alert, and stay off mobile devices while driving, as we in the county look at how we can improve our built infrastructure and increase pedestrian and bike safety. I also want to send condolences to Robert Youngentob's family as they mourn his passing. Bob was a founding partner at EYA LLC and was truly about building community and creating neighborhoods that are sustainable. He developed multifamily and mixed-use housing across all income levels in our region. He became part of the Best in American Living Hall of Fame in 2024 and was awarded the Livable Communities Leadership Award from the Coalition for Smarter Growth in 2018. Beyond his work on housing, he was also always looking for ways to innovate and give back to the community. We know Bob's legacy will live on in communities that he built and the countless lives that were positively impacted by his work, mentorship, and friendship. May his memory be a blessing to all who knew him. Now on to council items. First, I want to say that I am grateful to my colleague, Councilmember Gabe Albanaz, who is looking to continue his career in public service in our community by returning to the Montgomery County Recreation Department as the Executive Director. Gabe previously served as the county's rec director from 2006 to 2018 under former County Executive Isaiah Leggett. Yesterday, County Executive Elridge announced that he plans to send his nomination to the council. The Montgomery County Code Section 1A-102 governs county executive appointments for all department heads in the executive branch. Once the county executive officially sends over Councilmember Albanaz's nomination to the council will have 60 days to vote on the nomination. Councilmember Albanaz will follow the same appointment process as other executive nominees seeking to lead departments. This includes a public interview and council vote. This will be scheduled once the council receives the official nomination transmittal from the office of the county executive. Montgomery County is a much better place thanks to Councilmember Albanaz's public service, both on the council and in his prior role as the director of Montgomery County Recreation. Gabe's dedication to our community is evident in the way he approaches public policy, builds consensus, and forms lasting partnerships. His civility, compassion, enthusiasm, and integrity will be greatly missed on the council, but I am happy for him as he seeks to continue to serve our community. Next up, going on to council business. This morning, we began the council session with a proclamation recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Montgomery County. The national theme this year is With Survivors Always. This month serves as a call to action for all residents and a reminder for survivors that they are not alone in whatever they are facing and that help is out there. Domestic violence is a widespread national epidemic. According to the most recent National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, about 4 in 10 U.S. women and 1 in 4 men have experienced contact sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. Domestic violence is also rarely a one-time occurrence, as about 23% of women have suffered severe physical assault from a partner. Teens and LGBTQIA people face even higher risks. Montgomery County offers direct walk-in and call-in support for survivors of domestic violence. The Montgomery County Family Justice Center and Trauma Services, both located in Rockville, Maryland, offer free, confidential services to anyone impacted by domestic violence, including virtual services and support available in multiple languages. During the month of October, the Montgomery County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council will also display posters at Montgomery County metro stations promoting bystander intervention and how the public can help victims of abuse. We encourage residents to recognize the pervasive problem of domestic violence and to help spread the word about resources available in Montgomery County and nationally. This afternoon, the council is scheduled to vote on expedited Bill 27-25, which I am the lead sponsor of and introduced back in July. In 2021, the county's Climate Action Plan identified community choice aggregation as the #1 most impactful climate action the county can take to reach its climate goals by 2035. The bill I introduced would establish a community choice aggregator to expand options in Montgomery County for more renewable and stable energy sources. Community choice aggregation harnesses the purchasing power of residents and small commercial operations, so the county will be able to create large contracts with energy generators to work on lowering costs for consumers and secure greener energy for our community. I want to thank Delegate Laura Charkoudian, who in 2021 moved forward with the bill in the Maryland General Assembly. The bill was House Bill 768, and that authorized the county to pursue a pilot community choice aggregation program here in Montgomery County. Due to shifting federal climate policies, volatile energy prices from our regional transmission operator, and rising demand, it is critical for the county to pursue local strategies that stabilize energy costs and advance climate initiatives. This CCA, the Community Choice Aggregator, would be operated by the county's Department of Environmental Protection, supplying power with higher renewable content than state requirements while prioritizing sustainability, affordability, and price stability. The steps we need to take as a county are straightforward, and thank again Delegate Charkoudian for the enabling legislation. This bill that we will be voting on this afternoon basically gives the green light to our Department of Environmental Protection to put together the aggregated plan, which will then have to go back to the Maryland State Public Service Commission for their review. And then finally, I'm going to switch topics and talk about our focus on work here in Montgomery County and supporting our federal workers during these challenging times. Even before the government shutdown, we have seen targeted, purposeful efforts by the Trump administration over the last 10 months to weaken our local economies here in Maryland and demoralize our federal workforce. But since the start of these reckless orders and decisions, we have worked with our local, county, and state partners to find solutions and to help our community members. One of the ways we know we can help here in Montgomery County and in our government is helping federal workers find new career paths. In line with these efforts, this morning we passed a $180,000 supplemental to provide funding to the county's Office of Human Resources to help implementing the bill we passed a couple of weeks ago to provide a hiring preference for federal workers who have been laid off or dismissed under this current administration. Every effort that we can make to support our federal workers is essential, and we are confident that with this funding, our Office of Human Resources will be able to secure the support needed to attract some of the most highly qualified federal workers to fill vacancies here in our county government. Now, I'm going to turn it over to our guest today and another partner in these efforts, Anthony Featherstone, and he's going to talk more about the work Mobilize Montgomery is doing to help federal workers and other residents that are hoping to rejoin the workforce or looking for career path guidance. He will also discuss the demand the organization is experiencing due to the federal layoffs and the shutdown, and I'll turn it over to Anthony.
Thank you, Council President Stewart. Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Featherstone, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director for WorkSource Montgomery and Montgomery County's local Workforce Development Board. Our organization's core mission is to empower job seekers so they have both economic mobility and sustainability. And with recent federal actions, our charge is more important than ever. as many of our neighbors in federal public service are now faced with navigating the job market. This is why I'm honored to join Council President Kate Stewart today to highlight the collective efforts of the Mobilize Montgomery Coalition. The Mobilize Montgomery Coalition is a network of partners including county government, local chambers, economic and workforce development, and community partners. Recently, Mobilize Montgomery opened the new Federal Workforce Career Center, or FWCC. The FWCC is a tangible example of how local partnerships can help respond to challenges to meet our workforce needs. Through this initiative, we're committed to providing practical resources to support our federal workforce in finding their next career opportunity. These resources include direct support in the form of resume assistance, professional development, skills training, career coaching, and job placement assistance. If you'd like more information or want to partner with the Federal Workforce Career Center, more information can be found on the center's website at mobilize-montgomery.com or come visit us at 11510 Georgia Avenue in Wheaton. Lastly, I want to extend my gratitude to Council President Stewart and her colleagues on the Council for their leadership and strategic investment in the Federal Workforce Career Center. We're looking forward to continuing our work together to make sure that all our residents in federal workforce have support in finding their next opportunity. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. And before we turn it over to the press here in the room, I think one of the things I was struck by was the folks who are going to be working in this physical space. Many of them actually had been federal employees at one time. Do you have any experiences with the folks who are working there and how they're connecting with people who are walking in?
Yeah, so I absolutely, I believe 60% of our staff working in the FWCC have previous federal experience and have been impacted directly over the last few months. And that brings a level of empathy that I think you just don't get if you haven't lived that experience. And so with that, they are taking this personal, I guess, when it comes to serving those that come through our center. And so we're so proud to have them on our team, and they're doing an awesome job so far out the gate.
Great. Well, thank you. I guess we'll turn it over for questions from the press.
Thank you, Council President Stewart. Reporters, if you have any questions, please raise your hands and state your organization. WTOP?
Yeah, Kate Ryan, WTOP. In terms of visitation so far or people contacting the Workforce Center, do you have any numbers? And what kind of questions are they asking? What kind of assistance are they getting?
So we've been open for just a few weeks now. We had a media briefing, I believe on October 9th was the date. And since that media briefing, we've had over 200 individuals visit the center and sign up for services that we're serving. And that number is growing every day. We're getting a request for a variety of services, but I think number one is just the ability to be able to sit down with a career coach and kind of talk through what your options are and how does your federal experience translate to local government, state government, the private industry, and so forth. But that's been the number one request that we've gotten.
Mm-hmm. And just to follow up, Kate, on your question too, and I think one of the things is testament to Anthony and his work and the work at WorkSource Montgomery is when we saw what was happening in January and February and heard from our residents who were being laid off and what they needed. That is when WorkSource Montgomery, came up with this idea of having this physical space so that people could meet face to face with somebody else because of such upheaval in their lives. I mean, we're talking about people who have worked decades for the federal government, have very specific skills and, have CVs that are, maybe 10 pages long, and getting those down to a 1-page or 2-page resume and switching career paths is a huge undertaking. And so I just really want to credit Anthony and everybody at WorkSource Montgomery at really listening to the residents who were impacted and coming up with a response that met their needs.
Can I get a quick follow-up? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of what people term as job hugging. A lot of people staying where they are because they are nervous about the job market out there. What is it like for these people who, as you say, they're very highly skilled, they may be looking to come close to the salary that they've earned. What's the outlook for them out there in the job market?
Well, it is a tight labor market, so it's very competitive for anyone who's looking for employment right now. And so one thing that we always start with is data. And going through labor market information as far as what your targets are and what the salary prospects are for those targets. So there's not a lot of surprise there. But with that, we're focusing on how do you make yourself more competitive in a competitive market? How do you brand yourself from a resume standpoint, from a social media standpoint? What does networking look like for you based on your experience and your expertise and what you want to get into? And so we know that it's a tight labor market right now, but we're working with our federal workers and contractors to make sure that they can have a competitive edge, to make sure that whatever they're presenting, whether it's a resume, whether it's an elevator pitch, that they're putting their best foot forward when it comes to talking to a prospective employer.
Great, thank you. Ginny Bixby with the banner.
Hi, and thank you so much, Anthony, for giving that information. I know that WorkSource Montgomery, I'm so sorry, been a morning. WorkSource Montgomery is part of the bigger Mobilize Montgomery movement, and I'm also curious, are you all partnering with public sector, private sector partners to maybe help, I don't want to say funnel, not guarantee jobs, but connect folks with the people who may be in a position to employ them?
That is the core goal of the Federal Workforce Career Center, is to make sure that reemployment happens as rapidly as possible. And so the services that I mentioned are a means towards that end. And so that's the final outcome that we're aiming for everyone that comes through our center. And so we're working with our municipalities. We're working with county government, human resources. We're working with our private sector, small and large. And so we'll be doing and have done a lot of job fairs at large scale and at small scale as well, because that is the ultimate goal for the FWCC. We're offering a lot of services that are value add to federal workers and contractors, but the return and the efficacy of this center is going to be measured by how quickly folks go back to work once they come through our doors.
Yeah, have you, I guess just to follow up, have you been maybe reaching out to any companies that are hiring, you mentioned the job fairs, but I guess could be in search of more employees, there's not a lot of people doing a ton of hiring right now, but anyone looking for expansion, have you been reaching out to those companies?
Yeah, so we know the employers in the county that are hiring. I think at the largest scale, our school system is a huge employer, county government, as I mentioned. There are, the Marriott offers positions, and not just at the front desk, Lockheed Martin as well. We're in partnership with them. They're also serving our board, and so we're working with large scale employers that you would know by brand name, as well as our small businesses. And we do have access to labor market information that provides those job posting analytics. So we know who's hiring at large scale, and we know who has onesies or twosies, and we're working with them all the same.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, reporters. Just a friendly reminder, we have a hard stop at 1:30 p.m. Up next, we have Shili with Bethesda today.
Yeah. Sorry, not related to WorkSource Montgomery, related to the community choice aggregator bill. I'm just wondering if you can explain a bit, and maybe this is to come, but what that program would look like for residents. Like, would it look like the county sending them?
Nothing changes for a resident. You
Okay.
You will not see anything different. This is about the county being able to purchase energy on behalf of the residents. But the provider, how it is getting your electricity is getting to your home, stays the same. So for you as a resident, nothing should change except by doing this. Our goal is to have more stable pricing, be able to expand our renewable portfolio.
But you will still get your bill from Pepco
Yep,
or
exactly.
whoever,
Yep.
not from the county.
No,
Okay.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So, and people will have the option to opt out. So that was one of the things in the state law. So if for whatever reason someone's like, I don't want to do it, there is the option to opt out. And we will get to all that once the plan is in place, because it has to go back to the state, to the Public Service Commission.
Okay, gotcha.
Reporters, any other questions? Going once, going twice, 3 times? Back to you, Council President.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Anthony, thank you for joining us here today in Rockville. And we look forward to continuing the conversation and seeing you again next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.